If you're like me, you might have thought that art was some unbridled explosion of self-expression. If so, why does it have so many rules? Don't paint with black paint, the rule of thirds. Always shoot in manual mode. Only use linen canvas. Fat over lean. Do you have to follow all these rules? Let's talk. I'm Mark, and this is We Talk Art. To start off, I need to be clear about a few things. I'll be talking about some rules as examples. This is not going to be a deep dive into rules. It is going to be about rules, but not specific rules. Hope that makes sense. Also, I probably don't know you, at least not yet. I don't know what kind of artist you are or where you are in your art journey. So it would not be great of me to tell you what rules to follow. After all, if I did, I would just be giving you more rules. And here lies the first point. A lot of people here on YouTube, in art groups and classes, will give you rules, but they probably don't know you, where you're at, or what you're doing any more than I do. Artists are kind of excitable people. As artists, we get excited about a lot of crazy things. Painting with only 3 colors, drawing really, really small, or only using materials we can make, etc., etc., etc. We also all know those people that have to do everything the hard way. And then there's the other side of that, the people that want to do it their way and the consequences be damned. Choosing the wrong person to listen to can be a journey and of a lot of pain. So selecting your mentor will be almost as important as which rules you decide to follow. They must speak to you where you are and what you're doing. Liking their art is another good start too. I believe that your art is a unique expression of your personal vision. You'll probably hear me say that again if you watch my channel. Furthermore, the way you make that art will eventually be unique to you too. You are also making art for a reason of your own. Not everybody is trying to get their work into the Louvre or a prominent New York gallery. You may just be making art to relax. Who knows? And that's fine. This means the rules you choose will have to make sense for you and what your goals are. And to be successful, you will have to curate those rules wisely. I'm not saying that all rules are bad or you should not listen to more experienced artists. And I would never recommend not following rules that protect your safety, which is really important. Rules can be a great structure to work within while you're learning, following them while you work, and then knowing that you may eventually outgrow them, at least some of them. You will find that making good art that reflects your vision, will require educating yourself on how to make it, often beyond the classic rules. Creating your set of rules will allow you to develop a style, stay consistent, and build a body of work that reflects you. So another challenge to this rule thing is that you should know why the rule was made and what the rule is leading you to achieve. This might not have been communicated to you when the rule was given to you. Some people just like rules and are often good rule followers, but that doesn't always lead to good art. We'll talk more about that. So I'd like to give you some guidance on how to approach and evaluate these rules and how to decide which ones to take to heart and which ones to ignore. For starters, if you're a beginning artist, you're probably going to have a teacher, mentor, or influencer that are going to tell you how to do things, give you a set of rules. Generally, it would be wise to listen to them so that you can learn and grow. But again, choose your mentor wisely. A little warning about this place, YouTube. There's a lot of YouTubers sharing a lot of art information, and a lot of it is very good, but not all of it will apply to you. And despite mostly good intentions, there is some bad information out there. Also, these influencers don't know you, where you are, and what you're doing, so they have no way of knowing what you need. I advise finding a handful of artists, influencers that you like their work, like their teaching style, and who seem to be giving people like you good information. Be aware, many are trying to sell classes or paid online groups and such. If you really find someone you connect with, it may be worth looking into their offerings. But there are also a lot of artists out there that are freely giving a lot of great information. Just not all of them. One thing to be aware of when you're getting your information from YouTube is that the information is rarely given in an order or manner that is designed for learning. If you're trying to learn how to use a rigger brush, the YouTube video may be great. But if you're trying to learn to watercolor paint, you may be better served by a formal class in person or online. So, rules are not bad, but I have been known to say if you follow all the rules of art, you will only make art that's been made before. And if you're just using art to relax in the evening, that might be fine. But if you're really trying to make meaningful art, you need to watch what and who you follow. Make sure that they're not holding you back with outdated, restrictive, or just wrong rules. Think of 5 great artists. Got them? I can almost guarantee you that most, if not all of them, became great by breaking some rules. They broke away from their contemporaries by doing at least some part of their process different, if not all of it. Another common saying is, learn the rules so you know how to break them. This makes another good point. Part of getting good at art is not just following rules or breaking them, it is educating yourself on them. What the rules are, why they exist, when they apply, and when you should not follow them. As they say, knowledge will set you free, and in this case, free from rules that might be holding you back. I think one of the first steps in approaching this problem is to try to figure out what category the rule you're evaluating falls into. Is it a craft rule, a rule in how you use your mediums, or is it a style rule affecting the final look of your art? Fat over lean for oil painters is a craft rule and is a pretty important rule to follow if you don't want your paintings to crack or delaminate. The rule of thirds is a compositional rule and therefore a style rule. And, as we'll talk about, more of a guideline, despite the name of it being a rule. We'll start off with craft rules because they are in many ways the more important rules and the ones that are probably most likely you want to follow, especially if you're learning a new medium. Within a category of craft, there are rules that really should not be broken because they affect the safety, performance, and permanence of your mediums. These will often be the rules that your teacher or mentor will emphasize in the early parts of a class. These craft rules can fall into these subcategories. Safety. Many art materials require appropriate handling to be safe for you and the environment. I would advise educating yourself on all of these rules and always follow them. Media permanence. These rules ensure that your art will last as long as possible. These rules should be followed unless you are intentionally making a decision to use a less permanent material or making something that is meant to degrade, which some people go for. Most manufacturers make available information about their product's permanence. Also know whenever you go outside of the art material industry for materials, you might be risking that permanence in your art. Medium performance. These rules make sure that you get the most from your medium. Although many artists will experiment with these to try to get the different visual effects and so forth, much of the craft is proven over time and should be followed. And then there's tool care. Art tools can be expensive, so proper care and feeding will ensure that they last. Again, it is important to state that there is a fair amount of bad information out there that is passed off as craft knowledge or rules. If you are ever in question, I would always start with the manufacturer of the art materials website. Some companies share a fantastic amount of great information. This is also why using materials that are not specifically made for art can be problematic. I hear these kind of recommendations all the time, but you should always do your own due diligence. Saving a few dollars here and there is not worth it if your art fades, discolors, or falls apart. Following the rules is probably the most important for the safety rules. I have unfortunately heard artists suggest practices that are just not safe. I always recommend verifying material handling practices against what the manufacturer recommends. And if you're told different, do your own research. I believe you get a lot of value in learning beyond the process. Try to figure out why the teacher tells you what to do, when it is most effective, and what situations can you do something else. This is a much longer and more involved learning process, but it will make you a much better artist. This can sometimes be achieved by simply asking your teacher or mentor lots of questions, but they don't always know why they do a specific thing, just that they were taught that and it has always worked for them. We all do this to some degree, but you will benefit from doing some of your own research. On the style side, most teachers and mentors are going to teach you what has worked in the past and what has been successful for them. As a result, a lot of students adopt styles and subjects of their mentor. It is also really common to study from the old masters. Both are good ways to progress fairly fast because the road's been laid out before you. But it also can be a trap in that you will be making art that by its very nature is outdated or, as I said earlier, been done before. This is why so many people that are new to art paint subjects and in styles that can feel dated. They are doing what they were taught and by teachers who have been successful with it in the past. And again, that might be fine for you if you're just learning or you just want to make art for art's sake. Nothing's wrong with that. But if you're trying to make art that is modern, current, or relevant, your craft and style has to be current, if not novel. This will require a constant reevaluation of the style side you have learned. It should be noted that many style-related rules can change as aesthetics change and with what is popular. The rule of thirds is a composition rule and therefore is on the style side. The rule of thirds is more of a guideline, one that I pay attention to, but I don't always follow. When it works, it can really improve your image, but it can also look a little forced at times. For the most part, style rules will probably be the first rules you might challenge. These often will be the rules that can make your work look dated, but at the same time, many of them have proven the test of time. Know why and don't follow blindly. Keep in mind that some of the rules of style, composition, and subject matter will still make sense. Don't be too quick to throw out the rules. Sometimes they just need a bit of updating. It should also be good to keep in mind some styles are cyclical. You may see them again. Style rules can be important because breaking them can cause tension within the image that demands attention. There is a fine line between bad and brilliance in this case, and only experimentation and play will get you on the right side of that line. Also, when you break some of these rules, like composition rules, you want to be deliberate about it. For instance, making a horizon line level is an important composition rule, but it is also one that you may want to break from time to time. But if you do, you don't want to break it just a little. It will look like a mistake. You want to be deliberate and make the horizon line very not level. This will be true for many compositional rules. As I pointed out earlier, most famous artists became famous by breaking some rules, doing it different, or going someplace no one else has gone before. Keep in mind that almost all famous artists had loads of followers, artists that learned their style, subject matter, and often produced work on their mentor's level or even exceeded it. Yet few of the followers are ever remembered unless they've found their own voice beyond what their mentors did. You'll have to find your own style and message to be remembered. What that means for you is you must always be questioning what you have learned, especially on the style side. Once you have mastered the craft of your medium, you are really at the point where you'll need to truly learn, learning the new things that no one but you can teach yourself, find yourself, or see yourself in what is going on in the art world right now. You must experiment, play, make mistakes, and grow. The only rules to keep are the ones that allow you to work your medium to its fullest and allow you to maintain a style that you love and your audience responds to. At some point, you will probably find that you will have your own unique set of rules that are yours, and they will allow you to make your great art. In summary, know what you want from art. Some rules are good. Don't skip craft, especially safety rules. Find the right person who can get you the knowledge you need. Question everything and know why, when, and when not to use it. Eliminate the rules that are holding you back, no matter how effective they were when you were learning. Don't be afraid to update rules to better meet your needs. Don't stop experimenting, playing, testing, and making mistakes. Learn from others, but don't follow blindly. Great artists make great work, but copying them will only make you a follower. Learning art is a process of growth that never ends. Do you have any thoughts? Put them in the comments. If you like this, show your love by giving us a like and subscribing for more content from us. If you want to see more We Talk Art, I will have 2 videos up here that you can click on. Otherwise, go make some art.